Hello everyone and welcome back to Sterling 10-19 as we are back here with some girls volleyball action in this pink out today between the Sterling Silver Knights and the Hammonton Blue Devils. Very excited for this matchup here. Two absolutely amazing teams, two very talented teams in their own respective divisions. And taking a look at Sterling in the Liberty division, Sterling at the top, 15-5, 9-1 in the division. Hammonton 16-6 overall, 7-3 in the division. Burlington Township 12-12 overall, 6-4 in the division. Collingswood 8-7 overall, 4-6 in the division. Northern Burlington 8-13 overall, 3-7 in the division. And Pennsauken at the bottom, 9-11 overall and 1-9 in the division. And then in the American division, Hammonton at the top, 18-5 overall, and they are 11-1 in the division. Egg Harbor is 19-5 overall, 10-1 in the division. Mainland is 11-10 overall, 6-6 in the division. Absegami is 13-9 overall, 5-6 in the division. Atlantic Tech 10-12 in overall and 5-6 in the division. And then Pleasantville at the bottom, under Our Lady of Mercy at 13-3 and 18 in the overall and 1-11 in the division. So we're going to take a break, step aside here for just one moment. We're going to let some of these girls introduce themselves.
Johanna Dunnings, senior, setter, Summerdale.
Danica Zane, senior, libero, Stratford.
McKenna Fossbenner, senior, middle, Stratford.
Isabel Scott, senior, opposite hitter, Summerdale.
Gabby Schmid, junior, outside hitter in DS, Laurel Springs.
Abby D'Annunzio, junior, outside hitter, Laurel Springs.
Kennedy Davis, junior, DS, Stratford.
Daniela Ibrahimi, junior, DS libero, Stratford.
Skylar Anderson, junior, DS hitter, Summerdale.
Janelle Rodriguez, junior, middle, Stratford.
Brianna Colon, junior, outside hitter, Lindenwold.
So taking a look at the Sterling stats after we listen to the Lady Knights introduce themselves at the top, it's Skylar Anderson, the junior. She has 21 kills, 84 digs, 108 service points, and 20 aces. Moving down is Abby D'Annunzio. She has 43 sets played, 55 kills, 36 digs, and 110 service points, 29 aces. And then one of these senior captains, one of the seniors that was just honored recently, Johanna Dunnings, with 43 sets played, 40 kills, 230 assists, 117 digs, 171 service points, and 43 aces. McKenna Fossbenner, the pillar in the middle, who is 43 sets played, 32 kills, 20 blocks. She has 134 service points and 32 aces. Daniela Ibrahimi, who we saw step in for Danica Zane and libero at one point this season. She has 63 digs, 18 assists, 8 aces. Ariana Margarine, absolutely a killer for the Sterling team. 41 sets played, 127 kills, which leads the team, 130 digs, 134 service points, and 52 aces. Janelle Rodriguez, 41 sets played, 41 kills, 19 digs, 88 set points, and 15 aces. And then Danica Zane, the libero, the senior, with 141 digs, 12 assists, 9 service points, and 1 ace. And taking a look at the Hammonton stats, we have Medella Ehrman, who has 54 sets played, 35 kills, 148 digs, 165 service points, and 47 aces. Flores, one of the seniors on this team, 54 sets played. She has 407 assists with 134 digs, 45 kills, and 2 aces. Taking a look at Hernandez Aguilar, another one of these seniors with 23 digs, 54 assists, 98 service points, 29 aces. Maglio has it with 146 kills, 48 digs, 67 service points, and 22 aces. And we're going to take a look and listen in what's going on the court.
Who are currently facing or may face breast cancer. Today, the Lady Knights play for my grandma, Miss Cohn, my aunt,
and my cousin Lisa.
Thank you, girls.
So once again, Maglio, one of these sophomore outside hitters with 146 kills, 48 digs, 67 service points, 22 aces. We're going to take a look at Mia Ranieri, one of the senior liberos on this team, 203 digs, which leads the team, 89 service points and 23 aces. Kara Rivera, the senior outside hitter, absolutely dominant this season with 207 kills, 92 digs, 133 service points, and 47 aces. taking a look at Mitra Sampson, the junior, who has 11 sets played, 8 kills, 6 blocks, 3 digs. And Angelina Varelli, the senior outside hitter, with 112 kills, 152 digs, 114 service points, and 25 aces. So we're here. Glad to be here in the gymnasium. I'm joined here with Max Zubak and Richie Williams up here in the booth. And I mean, guys, a lot of cool stuff coming in this game today. One being this, this big pink out, the girls obviously honoring cancer awareness here in this October. And just definitely an important game for both of these teams, not necessarily for playoff seeding because power points are over, but really just to get a feel for a really good team before playoffs start.
Yeah, and these two teams have a good amount of history with each other as well. Very, even matchup it tends to be between these two. And I think you can expect one of the most, entertaining matches between these two powerhouses of the volleyball division here for varsity in New Jersey. It's been a joy to watch both of these teams progress throughout the season, especially Sterling with the new coaching. I'm excited to see where this goes.
So Dunning serves it over. Hammonton playing it up. Hitting it forward. It's going to be a ball over to the Lady Knights. They're going to play it back to Margarin. Margarin's going to slam it. Trying to get it home. Hit back over. Zane plays it up. Dunnings just tosses it over. Gets to the libero. Hammonton on their side hitting it up. This one goes back to Zane. Zane up to Dunnings, up to D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio hits it over, trying to get it to the far side. Read perfectly by Hammonton. Hammonton hitting it up, trying to hit it down. Dunnings was there. A long point to start. A free ball hit over here for Hammonton. The Blue Devils now in transition, trying to work their offense. This one hit over. Dunnings with a nice dig. Sterling hits it up. That's a diving play, and Sterling gets the first point.
We're only a point in, and this is already the entertainment I expected to see with two phenomenal teams. This is the Super Bowl of girls varsity before the playoffs even begin.
So definitely a great start for the Lady Knights as Dunning's going to have her second serve of the game to start. Here in this first set, Sterling leading 1-0. This one hit up. Nicely hit by Hammonton. They're going to hit it down. Nice dig there by Zane. They can hit it up to D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio's going to hit it over to the other side, and that one is awarded to the Blue Devils. D'Annunzio's hit just a bit too hard. This one's tied up.
I was rereading some of the stats, and both teams have very high stats for all their players, like Johanna Dunnings with 230 assists.
Great mention there by Richie. I mean, Johanna Dunnings, definitely one of these, cornerstones for this program that they have here at Sterling. A lot of these seniors are, in fact, that cornerstone, Johanna Dunnings being one of them. D'Annunzio, a junior, though, now going to serve this one away here for the Lady Knights as they got that point from Hammonton. She's going to sky it over. Nicely hit there from D'Annunzio. A little too hot to handle. And D'Annunzio with the powerful strike, making this one 3-1.
I mean, it's hard to stop anything like that. That was a heat-seeking missile early on to this first set. Wonderful ball there.
So great job from D'Annunzio. A nice serve from her to start. It's her second serve here. This 3-1 matchup against Hammonton. Nicely played there by the Blue Devils. They hit it up towards the middle. Can't get all of it. And that point's going to get awarded to Sterling. It looks like Varelli just couldn't get all of that one. Making this one 4-1 early in this matchup. D'Annunzio ready to serve this one away here for the Knights. That one gets over, and D'Annunzio's on fire to start this one, making this one 5-1. Sterling has the momentum to start.
I mean, we had mentioned her assist power from before, but she's really taken matters into her own hands early on in this first set. Glad to see the development.
D'Annunzio serving another one, and D'Annunzio absolutely on fire to start this one out. Has gotten 4 straight points here for the Knights, making this one 6-1 early in this first set. Hammonton still not figuring out this serve. D'Annunzio, absolute powerhouse to start. Gets it over. Hammonton finally plays it. Gets it up. The Blue Devils. That one trickles back over, and that point is going to be awarded to the Lady Knights.
Her serve stats currently, she's got 110 service points this far on the year.
And 29 aces. That number definitely increasing to start. Timeout called here by the Blue Devils. And you can follow us on Instagram at SterlingTV19, where we have pictures of our beautiful faces here at Tech Crew and some of the fun things happening around the castle. So make sure you guys go follow us on Instagram at SterlingTV19. So Sterling taking control early in this matchup. Once again, Sterling 15-5, Hammonton 18-5. So Hammonton only has a few games played over the Knights. But the Lady Knights controlling the matchup right now. Sterling leads the matchup between Hammonton 3-1. Hammonton's last win came last year, and Sterling's last win came in 2022. This is the first time these two teams are facing here in the regular season. Faced in a tournament not too long ago where Hammonton prevailed over the Lady Knights. D'Annunzio ready to serve this one away. She's on fire with the serves right now, and she's on fire still! D'Annunzio with yet another service point, another ace, making this one 8-1 Sterling. They're taking control early.
The Blue Devils just have not found anything early in this game. It's been a real early gut punch after gut punch to them.
D'Annunzio fires this one into the back line. The Blue Devils play it well. They get it up, serving it back over to the Lady Knights. D'Annunzio hits this one up for Dunnings. Dunnings to Margarin. Margarin slams it. That's a nice play there by the Blue Devils. They keep it up. This one hit over. Hits the net. That one awarded to the Lady Knights.
You know, I think even without the net, it was kind of on the line on that one. I'm not sure if she would have been able to call that out.
It was on the side of the little pole.
The antenna.
That one just hit a little too hard there from D'Annunzio. So Hammonton breathing a sigh of relief, getting D'Annunzio out of the serving spot. Now it's going to be Maglio, going to be the one to serve it here for Hammonton. Maglio having 22 aces here. Trying to get something started momentum-wise for Hammonton. This one hit up by Gabby Schmid, the first time we're seeing her in this one. And Sterling can't get it over. So Hammonton gets another point. It's 9-3.
Just an unlucky bump there, but you still have triple the points thus far over Hammonton. You still got to take that as a sign of having the momentum in your favor.
It's now hit once again by Maglio. Maglio, that's a nice bump there by Margaret. This one hit up for Fosbender. Fosbender kind of gives a little loop-de-loop over. This one played well by the Blue Devils. That one hits the net. They can't get it up, and Sterling gets yet another point, making this one 10-3.
Reaches double digits way early on. This is very different in comparison to JV earlier on, where Sterling couldn't get much going on.
Yeah,
but now the tables have turned.
Fosbender loops this one over. Nicely played by Hammonton. Just a little too hard there from the Blue Devils.
It's a great effort, though, you do have to say.
Yeah.
I'm surprised I didn't stay in. It was really kind of teetering on the edge there.
So now Fosbender ready to send this one over once again. Hammonton, nicely played by the Lady Knights. They're bobbing up, and they keep it up. And now the Blue Devils with some control here on the offensive. This one tipped over, blocked by the Lady Knights. A point awarded to Hammonton. Possible net infraction there on Anderson, but nothing sure. Fosbender subbed out here for Zane. The libero here for the Knights. So now it looks like Varelli's going to be the one to serve this one for Hammonton. Varelli, one of their better players, having 102 kills in the season, 25 aces as she hits this one over. Nicely played by D'Annunzio. Dunnings can't get anything under it. Hammonton gets another point, narrowing Sterling's lead only down to 6.
I mean, there's still a long ways to go, but it is a nice start to kind of slowly get yourself back in contention in this first set.
Schmid hits it up onto the Sterling bench. Anderson almost running over Coach Brennan. Hammonton crawling their way back here. The Blue Devils trying to get back up. They're only down by 5 now, 11-6. This one hit once again. Schmid plays it well. Up to Margaret. Margaret hits it over to Rodriguez. Rodriguez taps it over. Now the Blue Devils in control. This one hit up in the middle. And they get that one down. Mitra Sampson. That was a missile coming straight from the middle. That's her 19th kill of the season, making it a 11-7 game. The Knights lead, but only by 4.
Not only was it a missile right down the middle of these lines, it landed directly there in the middle there. Wonderful ball placement.
So rotation, I think, was wrong on Sterling, so it looks like Hammonton is going to get a point.
Seems to be a lineup check.
So they still can't figure it out here, ref. Trying to tell them where to go.
To move up, I think. In the line here. Very confusing. But Hammonton's smart to use this time to kind of console through the team.
Right now, Hammonton down by 4. It's 11-7. Now going to take this time to kind of regroup in the middle here as we see them in their team huddle. Sterling trying to figure out what's going on with their rotation.
Timeout, I feel like. Taking it as a timeout.
Yeah.
In a way. It's a very smart move. Use this time to regroup rather than just kind of sit and awe at the situation. Which is honestly what I'd do. Just be like, what?
Yeah, but Hammonton being smart, trying to figure out the weaknesses of this Sterling team, which there aren't many. Sterling really diverse in terms of their skill set, doing a great job.
There's a reason they're 18-5, and it might be the game IQ.
It looks like
a huge part.
Maybe the ref was wrong here. Still yet to figure it out. Sterling trying to figure out what the ref was ordering them to do.
It's a confusing situation.
Yeah, definitely.
Something we don't really see very often. I feel as those infractions like these, they get debated.
Yeah,
heavily.
quite often. But nevertheless, it looks like everything's sorted out here. Schmid just goes back to where she was standing before.
And I guess they keep the awarded point.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Very odd.
Looks like the ref's talking it over with Coach Brennan on the side here. Still a little bit of chatter going on the far side here of the court. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here on this Pink Out Monday honoring all cancer survivors. I'm Daniel Leakin, joined by Max Zuback, Richie Williams here in the booth, covering this Knights versus Blue Devils game. Sterling 15-5 on the season, Hammonton 18-5. So two powerhouses, and especially while Sterling is looking to make some noise in the playoffs, this is a good set, or this is a good tone setter for them as they enter the playoffs this upcoming week.
Yeah, I think especially because it's such a good team to go up against for the Lady Knights. The Blue Devils, very strong team, could duke it out with anyone, and I think that it's given them their 11-1 in the division record. It's a very impressive season. I'm not 100% sure of their status, but it's almost guaranteed they're in the playoffs as well. There's no way you can't look at these two teams and go, these are the highest threats.
Yeah.
In girls volleyball, the South Jersey, very strong squads here. And it's always a joy to watch these teams play because they're so coordinated with one another, and they lead to nice volleys every now and then. They're really some of the best to watch in the game. Sterling
last year fell into a little bit of a slump, had a losing record season, brought in Coach Brennan as a head coach, now leading them to a 15-5 overall record and 9-1 in the division. The addition of Margaret also helped plentifully as she brought in 127 kills, 130 digs, 134 service points, 52 aces. Kind of took that Laurel Conway role on this Sterling team, but nevertheless, the stepping up of a lot of these Sterling seniors and a lot of these young juniors has also been clutch. Skylar Anderson, Janelli Rodriguez, the two girls in right now, Gabby Schmidt as well. Some of the juniors who have really been an impact on this team, Johanna Dunnings, Danica Zane, Isabella Scott, McKenna Fosbender, the seniors on this team, the four lone seniors. Still trying to figure out what's going on this sideline here, so we're kind of waiting for the initial signal. And you can follow us on Twitter or X at SterlingTV19, where we will have live updates of all the games and all the fun things going on at Around the Castle. So make sure you guys go follow us on Twitter or X at SterlingTV19. So the girls on the net of both teams kind of talking to each other, trying to pass the time as they try and figure out what the substitution was.
Just realized another point got awarded.
Yeah, I think that was the original point. It was 7-11 before that initial point was rewarded. Now they put the point on the board. It'll be interesting to see whether or not they take it off. Coach Brennan still on the other side, talking it over.
I could have sworn it was 6-11 prior to the 7 there, but
the ref on the high post here came down, so he's talking on that opposite side. Both teams are using this as an extended little timeout.
Very confusing conflict still.
Yeah. The problem, on quote unquote, was Gabby Schmid. She's over on the bench or near the bench, trying to figure this out as well.
I know, Richard, you're a little more volleyball inclined than I am. Do you have any ideas to if this is an issue at all normally, or if this is just a kind of a once in a lifetime occurrence for you as well?
I've seen this I've seen this in boys volleyball before a few times, but I haven't seen this in girls volleyball at all. It seems to just be a messed up lineup check, probably a manager fault, but you never know.
There was confusion with the original score. That's what, with this original lineup, there was a mistake that was not caught by the official, which created some confusion as to who was on correct on the floor. They're on the floor now. The illegal alignment call stands.
So, the ref just came over and talked to us here in the booth. He said there was original confusion on who was supposed to be out in the lineup formation. The point stands for the illegal substitution, so they do get everything figured out, and we're back here with the action with the Varelli serve. This one gets over to D'Annunzio, nicely played. This one hit up for Margaret. Margaret trying to slam it home. Again, nicely played by Varelli. Hammonton keeps it in. This one a free ball over for Margaret. This one hit up. Dunnings trying to surprise them. That one stays in. Johanna Dunnings with a big heads-up play, showing her veterancy, making this one 12-8 after the extended break.
I mean, Johanna Dunnings has had a solid season and just a overall really good career throughout her time at Sterling. And I think stuff like that shows why she's such an important piece for this team to continue to succeed.
Anderson, one of the more dangerous servers, kind of hits a lollipop, quote-unquote, over. That one just bounces out for the Blue Devils. Now looks like it's going to be Hernandez Aguilar to serve it here for the Blue Devils. She gets ready. She serves it over. That one gets in. Nice serve there by Hernandez Aguilar. Zane decided not to play it. The wrong decision. That one stays in for the Blue Devils as they shorten the lead only to 2 now. Sterling up 12-10.
Yeah, I don't see the risk in not playing it in case it falls short of that line. If you're in position for it, why not just try it out, see how the volley can go?
Aguilar hits yet another hard one. A little too hot for Zane to handle. Hammonton within 1 now. Definitely within striking distance here, really shortening that gap that Sterling built earlier. Sterling trying to get some of that momentum back that they had earlier in this first set. Aguilar ready. She serves it over. That one stays in. Aguilar's on fire. The defense is terrified, and now we're tied 12-12.
This is what utilizing the confusion does to regain, some, calmness throughout that squad. They were down by quite a sum of points, and now taking that stoppage as a bit of a timeout has been used as a way to counteract the offense that was taking them down early.
So Zane bumps it up, hit by Margaret up to Rodriguez, but she can't get a lot. Oh, and that one's hit down by Hammonton. Rivera. The Blue Devils are on fire. As they get their first lead of the game, it's 13-12.
Oh, I mean, there's been these past few plays, obviously the confusion's kind of disoriented this team, and now it's leading to a loss of the lead, something you don't want to see, but the volley continues.
This one hit up for Margaret. Margaret just kind of have to fires it over. The Blue Devils play it. They're on the offense. This is a free ball hit over for the Lady Knights. Now the Lady Knights back on the offensive swing. Hit up for Margaret. Margaret hits it home, and she gets all of it. The Blue Devils not able to recover. Sterling gets back the tie they had before. 13-13 here in this first set.
That ball that was hit right at the end there almost landed on the tire marks that were added earlier today. I feel like there's going to be a lot of mentions as to if they can reach the height of the people we saw from before.
Margaret hits this one up. This one hit back towards Margaret. Margaret hits it towards D'Annunzio. Well-placed ball for Margaret. This one popped up, and D'Annunzio slams it home. Sterling retakes the lead from the Blue Devils, making this one 14-13 as Margaret gets ready to serve. Once again, leads the team in aces with 52. Margaret ready to jump serve. This one hit back. Well played by Hammonton. And now Hammonton back on the control as they get the tie back, making it 14-14. And this, Max, has really just been a game where the serves have gone not really back and forth. The person serving has really gone on a nice run.
Yeah, there hasn't been too much rotation, but I think it can be a blessing and a curse. You want to get more people warmed up for that position for later, but at the same time, you have the same person going while they're hot. You're bound to kind of succeed.
D'Annunzio slamming it home after that nice play by the Lady Knights. Nice play by Anderson to get it over originally. Now Janelle Rodriguez going to be the one to serve it here for the Lady Knights. She has 15 aces on the season. Rodriguez hits it into the net. Hammonton retakes the tie. Back and forth action in these past couple of points here for the Lady Knights. Rodriguez gets subbed out for Zane, so the libero back in the game here for the Lady Knights. This one hit into the back line. Nicely played by Margaret. This one hit up back to Margaret. Margaret has some room. She fires, keeps it up, and that one goes down. Ariana Margaret, sensational for this Knights team, making this one 16-15 in this one.
If you are the Knights, though, you have to kind of look at it as we're not out of the woods just yet. We have plenty of set left to go, and then another one after this to secure the victory over Hammonton. You got to keep yourself focused here, because I feel like it was this close against such a good team like Hammonton. You can never think a lead secure.
Lead definitely not secure, especially in this sport. This one hit up towards the middle. This one tipped back by Hammonton. They're still in control. This one hit up towards the outside. A nice set. That one just hit a little too weakly. This one hit up back to Dunnings. Dunnings just set over a free ball, trying to get it into a little bit of a dead zone for the Blue Devils. This one hit back up. Nicely played there by Zane. This one gets back over to Scott. Scott to D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio has to set over a free one. And now Hammonton back on the offense. This one hit up. Not nicely set. And that one just goes far, making this one 17-15. Sterling trying to pull away from the Devils' clasp.
Yet another great volley between these two high-caliber offenses, I feel like. But both of them have had great defensive efforts, like that stop by Zane with a nice kind of reach-over hit to keep it going.
Dunnings ready to serve this one away here for the Lady Knights. She gets it up. Nicely played by the Blue Devils. They keep it in. A free ball coming here for the Lady Knights. Zane sets it up to Dunnings. Dunnings back up to Scott. Scott sends it over. Again, nicely played by the Blue Devils. The Blue Devils sending one over. Played by D'Annunzio. Set up for Dunnings. Back to D'Annunzio. D to D. That one cannot go over. Sterling holding a 17-16 point lead in this first set over the Hammonton Blue Devils. This one hit hardly. Over to Margaret. Margaret gets it back from Dunnings. She has to push Stain out of the way. Almost nicely hit in the middle of everyone, though. Hammonton slamming it back over. That one hitting the top of the net. That was a powerful strike there from Maglio. She couldn't get a lot of it. Making this one 18-16 in this first set.
Now we see D'Annunzio back to serve. Had a good run first time around. Let's see if she can do it again.
She did have a great run the first time around. This one hits the top of the net, and that one stays in for the Lady Knights. Now increasing their lead to 3. D'Annunzio ready to serve here again for the Lady Knights. Trying to close out this first set over the Blue Devils.
A lot of good rallies this game.
Sends it over. This one hit up by Hammonton. This one hit behind Margaret. Margaret keeps it up. This one hit up by Fosbender. Zane's just going to have to send one over. Hit up twice by Hammonton. They try and slam it home by Maglio. Zane hits it back. Once again hit by Zane. This one kept up but falls down. The Blue Devils on the offense. A lot of that rally. Zane trying to keep the Lady Knights in it, but couldn't do all of it as Hammonton only down by 2 now. The serve here going to Maglio. She hits it up. This one hits to Zane. Zane plays it nicely. Dunnings tries to catch them off guard. Nicely played by the Blue Devils, though, as Zane keeps it up. Hits it up towards Margaret. Margaret taps it over. Nicely played there by Varelli. This one hit back over to the Lady Knights side. Dunnings hitting it up towards Scott and Fosbetter. This one hit back over. The Blue Devils back in it. Varelli sends one over. Hits the net. Sterling getting their 20th point of this first set against the Blue Devils. 5 more until they can put this first set to bed and try and work to get the victory. Hammonton trying to come back in this first set, being down 3. Fosbetter going to be the one to serve it here for the Lady Knights. She taps this one over. This one almost hit out. Kept in by the Blue Devils. Great hustle there. Margaret keeps it up. Gets it back to Dunnings. Dunnings back to Margaret. Margaret slams it home. Holy guacamole there from Ariana Margaret, making this one 21-17.
I was kind of terrified for our camera there for a second, but after that, I got to be terrified for the floor. It was hit with such impact. I'm surprised there's not a dent over there.
So now Fosbetter hits it back over. Hammonton ready to play this one. That one falls to the ground. Sterling increasing their lead to 5 here late in this first set, trying to pull away from the Blue Devils. Timeout called here by Hammonton, trying to stay in this first set against the Lady Knights. And you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sterling TV 19, where we have all the funny commercials, all the cool things happening around the castle, all the live streams for the games, and of course those Castle Connections brought to you by our principal, Jared Claiborne. So make sure you go subscribe at youtube.com/Sterling TV 19. Fun game so far, filled with a ton of action. We got the cheerleaders coming out here for this one for the volleyball team. Great cheer squad, won by Mr. Abbott here at Sterling. Always fun to watch them do their thing. Normally we see them at the football field, but they're here at the volleyball area. We'll see them starting at the winter season for boys and girls basketball, which we're quite excited for here at the castle.
Bleachers are getting loud.
Just about to mention two teams that can make some noise in this upcoming basketball season, the boys especially. Star-studded lineup. So now Fosbender gets ready to serve here back at the volleyball court. This one hit up for Varelli. Varelli trying to slam it home. Played well by Margaret. This one hit back up for the Lady Knights. They get it over. Nice play by Ibrahimi. Hit up by Hernandez. This one hit down. Net violation by Sampson. Gives Sterling another point. Sterling 2 away from achieving this first set victory.
I know we said no lead safe with teams like this, but it's starting to feel a little safer as you inch closer to the end. Obviously, you can never tell.
This one hit up by Hammonton. This one hit over for a free ball. Fosbender plays it well up to Dunnings. Dunnings, perfect ball to Margaret. Margaret slams it. This one kept up by the Blue Devils. They try and still keep it up, and that one doesn't go over. So close yet so far for the Blue Devils. Sterling within striking distance, trying to get the last point of this first set.
I'm going to say that felt like a very literal adaptation of 1 step forward, 2 steps back there.
Yeah.
And it was a lovely attempt to try and get it over. Just a little too much power and too much height.
Bleachers loud as Fosbender gets ready to serve this one away for the Lady Knights. She hits this one just over the net. This one kept up by Margaret. Dunnings back to Margaret. Margaret just kind of has to send one over. Well played by the Blue Devils. Hernandez keeps it over. A free ball going on here for the Lady Knights. This one hit by Ibrahimi. Dunnings tries to surprise him. Send one over! And it's fitting. The senior putting the ending strike on this first set. Sterling takes this one 25-17.
Wonderful way to end it. And, you know, it's something that really I feel like is a lot technically harder. And I'm loving what I'm seeing after that first set.
So Sterling takes this first set 25-17. We'll be right back at you with some second set action coming up after this.
Guys, put your IDs on. Brady, headphones. Gotta come out. No. Come on, man.
Yo, Brayden, you know you're not supposed to have your jacket on, man. Come on, take it off. Put it in your locker. No, I'm okay.
You have your jacket on, AirPods in, and no ID. Go to internal. You too, huh? Yeah.
Welcome back here to the castle as we are in the gymnasium, home of King Claiborne and all the Knights here at Sterling. And Sterling, speaking of the Knights, the Lady Knights taking a 25-17 first set victory over the Hammonton Blue Devils. Lots of back and forth action between these two teams. Hammonton still trying to recover. They came back and were really clawing their way back within that first set, but Sterling pulling away using their skill, IQ, and just the resiliency at all times against this Hammonton squad. And we're back here in the gymnasium. I'm Daniel Eakin, joined by Max Zubak and Richie Williams. And I mean, guys, what a fun first set that was.
Yeah, I think it was a lot of fun to watch those two teams go. And it was also very interesting to see that, you know, this small roster, and you know, it's fun to watch these two great teams go at it. I'm excited to see it start all over again.
Ehrman's serve just goes out.
Notice that both jerseys are very colorful, and Blue Devils even have theirs customized with last names.
Yeah, very helpful for us over here at the broadcast booth. We don't get that very often, so very nice.
It's more expensive to customize jerseys.
Definitely. Dunning's serve goes out. So one apiece for these two teams as they go toe-to-toe here in this second set. Hammonton trying to claw their way back to victory as Sterling trying to get this two-set victory over the Blue Devils. This one hit up. Well played by the Lady Knights. This one hit over by Dunnings. Dunnings trying to get it to that back line. Hammonton not ready for what Dunnings was about to do. They keep it up, and it gets over. Great play there by the Blue Devils. Dunnings gets a double touch, and Hammonton gets the point. What a play by the Blue Devils, staying resilient after Dunnings caught them off guard. Just all around great team play by the Blue Devils as they get ready to serve it. Looks like Maglio was the one to serve it for the Blue Devils. This one hit by Dunnings, hit over towards Scott. Scott gets a pretty powerful touch. This one hit over towards Varelli. Varelli's going to smack it over. Nicely played by Margarin. Hit up for D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio trying to slam it home, and that one well played by the Lady Knights as they get their second point of this second set.
It's a very close point there. Close to the boundaries of out of bounds and not out of bounds, and I think they've been very good at utilizing those boundaries to their advantage throughout the year.
So now it's going to be D'Annunzio. Went on a big run in that first set with her serves. A nice one there. Well played by Ranieri. This one hit up. That one slammed down, but Zane keeps it up. Dunnings hits this one over for Fosbender. Fosbender didn't get a great touch on it. This one hit up for Varelli. Varelli slams it. Well played by Zane. Dunnings hits it up towards Scott. Scott just gives it a little touch. Point awarded to the Lady Knights. Some infraction there by Hammonton. Gave the point to the Lady Knights. A great play there by Sampson on Zane. Zane making a great play, and that one hit the net. So in result, that one went over, and that one also went over. Great play there by D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio ready to serve this one again here for the Lady Knights, trying to go on another run. Well played there. That one was by Ehrman, but a little bit too hard. Sterling with a 3-point lead over the Blue Devils.
Ball is kind of unsavable at that point, but still, that's what I've kind of noticed with Hammonton. They love to put in their effort no matter where the ball's at.
Sterling has that touch today. D'Annunzio especially been on fire with a lot of these serves. There's another one. This one goes back over for the Lady Knights. This one hit back over. Hammonton now trying to play it. This one hit up for Varelli. Varelli gets it. Nicely blocked there by Fosbender and Scott. But Hammonton keeps it up. This one hit by Sampson. She can't get all of it. And Sterling, resiliency, the name of the game here for the Lady Knights as they take a 4-point lead.
I mean, it's a similar start to the first set where Sterling pulls up with an early lead, but that doesn't mean Hammonton's out at all. It's still very early in the set. You got to see how it goes. And that's a perfect example of anything can happen at any time as the ball hits the net.
So D'Annunzio's great streak goes bye-bye. She's done serving for at the moment. She takes a seat on the bench as well. So now it looks like Varelli's going to be the one to serve it here for Hammonton. She hits this one up. Nicely played there by Schmid. This one hit up by Dunnings. Dunnings to Margarin. Margarin slams it. Nicely played there by Ranieri. Hit up towards this outside here. This one hit up towards Schmid. Dunnings hits it back up. This one hit towards Fosbender. A free ball coming over here for Hammonton. This one hit up towards the outside. Nicely hit. Great play there by Schmid to keep it up. Margarin's going to send it back over for another free ball. Hammonton on the offense here. So hit back towards Varelli. Varelli gets it over towards Zane. Zane plays it nicely. Dunnings sets it up towards Scott. This one's blocked. Hit back up by Scott. Scott. Dunnings to Margarin. Margarin taps it over. What a great point between these two teams. Back and forth action. 7-3 Lady Knights.
I mean, an incredible, back and forth there. Richard, do you think you can explain a little more about the mentality of going through a longer set like that? Because it's got to be a lot of back and forth mentally as long as where the ball is.
I used to play volleyball a lot when I was younger. It gets a lot more stressful the longer the volley goes, but you start getting faster and faster as it goes, and it starts to slow down a little bit as it ends, but you easily pick that mental speed back up. Stress goes away.
Fosbener yet with another serve. That one hit the ground. Her last one hit the ground. That one hits the net. Now Fosbener catching a little bit of the heat, and a timeout called here by the Blue Devils.
It's got to be one of the best feelings in the sport. Forcing the other team to get a timeout gives yourself some time as well to recollect and just kind of reinforce what you already know about yourself, which is you're doing well early on.
And you can follow us on Instagram at SterlingTV19, where we will have pictures of our beautiful faces and all the fun and cool things here that happen at the castle. So make sure you guys go follow us on Instagram at SterlingTV19. It's a pretty good crowd today at our stream. We've got some of the cheerleaders out here, plus some of the JV volleyball girls, and a lot of the parents here repping pink for this pink out. It's such a fun game and a great cause as well. Talking about fighting cancer survivors. Always fun to participate in a pink out, always for a great cause. Greatly sponsored here by Girls Volleyball, a fun event that they set up for this Monday afternoon. Late October here, it's the 28th, so definitely approaching playoff time as Fosbener sends this one over. This one hit up, this one hit over towards Rivera. She hits that one over. Nicely played by Schmid. Dunning's trying to catch Hammonton with surprise. Hammonton ready for it. This one hit back over to Rivera. Rivera slams it. This one hit by Fosbener and hit back over for the Lady Knights. Rivera once again going for three, and Schmid keeps that one over. This one dribbling in the ceiling. This one kept up by the Lady Knights. Scott hits it over. Hit back over for the Lady Knights. Such a fun point this one's been. Once again to Rivera. 4 times a charm. She taps it over. And a net infraction gives Sterling the point. Rivera had 4 tries to slam it home. Sterling's defense stands strong. It's 10-3.
And as the thunder rolls on this side of the stands to our right here, I mean, the energy in this building for these past couple of sets has been phenomenal. And I feel like it's something you feed off of as the game goes, no matter what side you're on, because it's just such a great environment. Love to see it.
That one hitting the ceiling. Margaret slamming that one. Nicely played there by Varelli. This one up to the libero. She takes her time, hits that one over. Fosbener up, gets it over towards Scott. Scott hit it. This one hit back to Rivera once again. Rivera just going to lightly tap that one over. Fosbener plays it. Dunning's over to Margaret. Margaret taps it over. This one hit into the back line for a big hit for Varelli. So nicely played by Schmid. Dunning's up to Rodriguez. This one tapped back over. A net infraction once again by Sampson. Gives Sterling the point. Sterling up by 8 now, 11-3.
I feel like it's been a common theme with this Hammonton team to get a little too close to the net. It leads to another point for Sterling. And I feel like you just can't help but get annoyed at yourself a little more. Kind of feel as though you know you can do better. What's going on today? There's got a bit of a bug going on. But regardless, when plays like that happen, when the service goes a little too over and you get it back, you can give yourself that chance for redemption and regain those points.
So Fosbener hitting that one a little too hard. This game, talking to Coach Brennan earlier, had no implications for power points, but definitely two teams that always play a good game, two always very competitive teams between the Blue Devils and the Lady Knights. So both teams definitely trying their hardest to win this one. It's going to be Anderson here with the serve. Again, one of the more powerful serves here for the Lady Knights if she can just get the right angle.
Usually jumping. Yep, there it is.
Anderson hits it into the net once again. So 12-5 lead, Sterling holds. Again, no PowerPoint implication for this game, but nevertheless, just such a fun game between two very talented teams going at it. Two teams definitely ready to make some noise in the playoffs. This one hit up, nicely played by Anderson. Dunnings can't get to it. Now a 12-6 lead here for Hammonton.
I mean, you slowly cut down on the lead as they did in the first set here today, but it does take a lot more than a few points to get even, and I think they've done a good job last time. Let's see if they can make history repeat itself mere minutes after it was put in the books.
It's this one hit by Rivera. Dunnings tries to catch them off guard, and she does! Johanna Dunning's game IQ off the charts, giving Sterling an 8-point lead over the Blue Devils.
You do anything for so long, They're going to get really good at what the right and wrong decision is at the right and wrong time. And Joanna Dunning's perfect example of that. Great senior presence. Her and Zane alike, I feel as though, are in that way where they just know exactly what to do and how to communicate with their squad. Great stuff.
So this one nicely played by Zane. This one hit up for Rodriguez. Rodriguez taps it. Nicely played by Hammonton. Hits it back over. It's going to be almost a free ball hit from Margaret. Nicely played. Dunning hitting it back to Margaret. Margaret with some room. She fires. Nicely played there by Aguilar. So hit up for Rivera. Rivera slams it over. Nicely played by Margaret. Hit back over to D'Annunzio. D'Annunzio fires. So played well by the Blue Devils. Hit up for Rivera. Rivera slams it home. Nicely dug out by Sterling. But that one just trickles out of bounds. A great spike there from Varela. Or excuse me, Varelli. Or excuse me, that was Rivera. Oh my goodness gracious. That one was nicely hit by Cara Rivera. Shortening this Sterling lead down to 6. She gets ready to serve it. Serves it into the net. So now Sterling gets their 7-point lead right back.
I had a lot of rallies today that have lasted a really long time, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, you can see these girls have that adrenaline mid-rally where it's just, I got to keep the ball up.
Yeah, and I think Sterling definitely has done a great job with that all season, especially in terms of stamina, definitely staying in those long rallies with a lot of these teams who are definitely talented. A nice block there by Fosbenner. Whistle blows, and it looks like so Hammonton talking to the ref. Ref looks like he saw a net infraction here. Other ref coming to talk to him.
Point gets awarded to the Knights for the call.
It definitely was a mistake there from the ref. He knows it. Hammonton trying to stay in the game. Definitely both refs having a tough night tonight with that long extended call. This one hit back over for the Lady Knights. They keep it up. Dunning's hitting it back towards Margaret. Nicely played by the Lady Knights. Have to get back in rotation as now Hammonton hungry. This one nicely played by Margaret. She hits it up. D'Annunzio trying to fire as she hits that one into the net.
Still a 7-point lead, though. And again, like we had said before, don't get too comfortable with the lead you have, but do take pride in it as you play, I feel like. Make sure you let the other team know you have the lead by continuing to pile on. That's the way I see it. And they do it again, even though it's through a mishap of the other team. You can take that and spin it into victory with enough effort, and I think this is going to be Dunning's with the serves, and we know she's powerful back there.
So Ehrman served a little too hard. Now Dunning's has the ball in her possession. The game comes to a close and Sterling takes the victory. We'll have a post game to follow. Dunning's ready to hit this one over. Nicely played there by the Blue Devils. This one hit up towards the middle. Varelli's going to hit it. Dunning's up to Margaret. Margaret slams it. That one hard. And that one stays in. Margaret, a heat-seeking missile from that back line. Sterling increasing their lead to 9.
I know I've made comparisons of this game being similar to Battleship in the past. This is kind of like if you're playing Battleship and someone's put all their ships in a corner and you just keep hitting them.
Yeah. Nicely played by Margaret. Dunnings hits it back over. Played well by the Blue Devils. They send it over for a free ball. Double touch called on number 18, Ranieri, the libero.
There's
yet a little bit more confusion from Hammonton.
There's been a lot of confusion today.
There's definitely been a lot of confusion today between the refs and some of the players with the whole substitution thing in that first set. Now a couple of complaints from the Blue Devils. Sterling holds a 10-point lead. Dunning's ready to serve this one over. This one gets into the back line. Nicely played by the Blue Devils. This one hit up towards the outside, coming towards the middle. But they cannot get it. Scott hit up for Dunning's. A free ball sent over here toward the Blue Devils. This one hit towards the outside. A big slam. A nice play by Margaret as she hits that one over. They try and keep it up, but Maglio's hit was too hot to handle. What a nice strike there by number 11.
It's a great strike there to keep the ball on that Sterling side. And I've really liked the plays like that from the Hammonton Blue Devils, where they've been able to play a little bit more with the intelligence of the game to make mishaps like that happen on quick notice.
Hitting up towards Margaret. That one stays in. The defenders absolutely frozen by the ball flying at them. Sterling getting their 10-point lead back over the Blue Devils.
Oh, my goodness.
Big server here, Abby D'Annunzio, went on a couple runs in this game so far, one in the first and one in the second set, respectively. This one not touched well there by Ehrman. So now Sterling 5 points away from eclipsing victory here over the Blue Devils. Something to mention, we don't play Hammonton very often, a lot of things. The Blue Devils is such a cool name. That's awesome.
There's not many colors you can put in front of Devils to make it sound cool.
Yeah, but blue is one of them. Hammonton hits this one over. Varilli with a strong strike, firing back at Margarin. Paulsboro's the Red Devils. That's a cool name. But I don't know. I think anything with like the Devils at the end of it, it's kind of cool.
I think that there's like a slight alliteration type doing like Yellow Devils. A little bit.
So I mean, like Silver Knights obviously is super cool there. Rutgers are the Scarlet Knights. I think Knights is another thing that sounds cool with a lot of things.
Yeah.
One of that I particularly like as well is the Green Wave, Audubon. I think that's just something I wouldn't think of, but it works.
I mean, Tulane has also thought of similar ideas.
Yeah, true that.
They've had success, so maybe it's a successful name.
This one hit to the outside. Nicely played there by Scott. She taps it back over. This one hit up on the Hammonton side. Sterling trying to block that one, hit into the net. Sterling 3 points away from getting victory here over the Blue Devils.
I mean, the thing, though, with a lead, even though you're up by 12, you can't take 3 points as an easy task. You got to fight for every point. And Sterling's done a very good job of not taking their eye off the prize. And they get a nice close one there on the line.
Nicely served.
2 points away.
So close to victory, they can taste it. Post-game to follow. Sterling gets the second set or the third set if a major comeback here comes here for the Blue Devils.
Never count on a team that's gotten 18 wins.
Yeah. Sterling would win this one. They would increase their record to 16-5 on the season, ending their season. Hammonton would go to 18-6. This one hit into the Sterling back line. Nicely hit there by Varilli.
While we're on the topic of stats, let's talk about Sterling girls tennis. They just finished their season 13-7 record.
Yeah, that means girls tennis had a remarkable season, their best record since 2002. And if we want to keep mentioning some other Sterling teams, boys football getting a big win over the Haddon Township Hawks this past Friday, eclipsing their record to 4-5. If they win this next game against Buna this upcoming Wednesday, they would be 500 for the first time since 2021. So definitely a big landmark in that program if they can come out with a big win against Buna after getting such a massive win against the Hawks.
And it's a massive hit that goes in the favor of the Knights. Up by 12.
And now Sterling 1 point away from beating the Hammonton Blue Devils. Skylar Anderson's going to be the one to serve it here for the Lady Knights, the junior. Definitely has some big shoes to fill this upcoming year after this season. Anderson hits this one over. Nicely played by the Blue Devils. This one hit up towards Rivera. Rivera trying to push it to the other side. Nicely played by Margaret. Dunnings hits up to Rodriguez. Rodriguez taps it over, and she keeps it in! And more importantly, Sterling wins 25-12 in the second set, 25-17 in the first. What a win for the Lady Knights.
I mean, it's been a constant theme of Sterling winning sets 2-0 overall throughout the games, not really having to go to the third set all that often. And it stays here against another great team. Sterling over the past 4 days now, Friday and now Monday, have had a lot of, consistency in beating teams that are really good. Great game here.
So the Liberty champions beat the Hammonton Blue Devils, as we'll be right back at you with some post-game interviews.
They said I couldn't dream. Called me a piece of trash and said that's all I'll ever be. Told me I'd never amount to anything. Or help anyone. But I didn't listen. I found my way. And now, I'm what I always wanted to be.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, how was the game?
It was great. We won.
I'm sorry I missed it.
It's okay. You can check out all the highlights on Sterling TV 19's YouTube channel.
Oh, wow, really? All right, I'll check it out then.
Bye.
So we're back here after Sterling wins in 2 sets, the first set being 25-17, the next being 25-12, and I'm here with a couple of the players, first starting with some veterans with Johanna Dunnings and Joe. I mean, what a big win for you guys over such a talented Hammonton team, 18 wins on the season for them. How does it feel for you guys to get a big win going into playoffs?
It feels amazing to start it off on a high.
And I know you guys are looking to make some noise in the playoffs. Talk about your thoughts going into those.
I think that we just need to keep playing the way we've been playing these past couple of games, and we'll get as far as we want to.
And I mean, going into your last season, especially, again, I've mentioned this a couple times, a rocky one last year. Guys finishing out with such a great record and a division win. How does it feel for you to watch some of these younger girls develop into the great players they are today?
Feels absolutely amazing because I watched them all as freshmen, and feels great to know that they're good, you know.
And I mean, another thing, you guys sponsoring this Cancer Awareness Night, and I mean, such a fun event. And how does it feel for you guys to honor some of those people being impacted by cancer?
It feels good. You know, my cousin had breast cancer and is a survivor, so it's really good to honor them and, you know, win the game for them too.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe, for coming on. Next, Skylar Anderson. I mean, Skylar, one of the younger players on the Sterling team, a junior, coming into their senior year next year. But you guys have done a great job, you three juniors this year. How does it feel for you guys to get a big win over Hammonton today?
It feels great because during the tournament they beat us, so it's good to show that we can really beat them and everything.
And not only did you guys beat them, it was a dominant win. You guys really only faced some adversity in that first set, but really came out in that second set hitting hard. What was the huddle like during that break between sets, talking with Mrs. Brennan?
It was great. We were all close and good friends. We're very close knit, so we can have fun and
You guys seem very relaxed, talking to each other a lot of the times. There doesn't seem like there's a lot of tension. How has the stuff outside of volleyball helped build the relationship inside of volleyball?
Well, school and everything, and we're all friends since freshman year, so we all hang out outside of school, inside of school, wherever.
And mentioning, playoffs to Joe, you guys are ready to make some noise, and I know you guys are definitely feeding for some playoff action. How does it feel for you guys to be put in that scenario to make some noise?
It feels great because the last time we were really in something as big as that was probably a year or two ago, so it's good to come back.
Thank you, Skylar, for coming on. We appreciate your time. Next, my personal star of the game, Abby D'Annunzio, really came in big with a lot of those serves, got a lot of aces, and how does it feel to be such a big part of this team?
It feels really good, especially because I've been struggling with serving, so to be able to serve that much, it feels nice.
Better late than never, especially approaching playoff time. Ready to wreak some havoc on a lot of these other teams, looking forward to their first round matchup. What are some things you guys need to work on going into that match?
I think just reading the court and finding those positions to get those points.
And we've talked to a lot of the veterans throughout the past couple of games. This is really one of the first times I've talked to a couple of juniors. And from a younger standpoint, how has Coach Brennan really helped you guys in progressing on this season?
Brennan's helped us a lot, just with her ideas and her pumping us up and stuff, and it just feels nice to have that encouragement.
And taking a look forward to next year, you guys are really going to be the captains for this team. What are some of the words you have to say about the captains this year and how much they have helped you guys win?
They've helped us.
A little PTSD from last post-game interview after I got sprayed with water. But again, how has those captains helped you out this game?
They're really good at encouraging us on the court, help us keep our energy up, and they're just really good at,
Being them. Thanks for coming on, Abby. I appreciate it. And last but certainly not least, Janelle Rodriguez. And I mean, you made a statement, especially in that second set, really helping your team to victory. How does it feel?
It feels great. After a long, hard season, it feels really nice.
And I mean, you've taken a rotational role in this offense, or it's not the offense, but in the team, and you've really watched things progress from the start of the season to now. And what can you think about your team and how well they've done?
In the beginning of the season, we didn't really work well together. We weren't really a unit, but now you can see the communication and the love and the fun that we have together, and it really shows in our team and our skills.
And from a younger player standpoint, looking forward into playoffs these upcoming weeks, how excited are you just to get ready and just to really try and give it your all coming into playoffs?
It's thrilling. It's really exciting to think about, heading into playoffs. It's a really big thing, especially after winning divisionals. Last season, we didn't have the best season, but it feels really good to head in with positive minds and good energy and to end it off with a big win.
And I mean, your first round matchup destined to be in the castle. How important is it to have some of the momentum of not only the superfans but the cheerleaders behind your backs as well?
It definitely helps a lot, especially when, say, the other team's going on a run or something like that. It feels really good to hear the support and feel the energy in the gym, and it really makes us feel like we can really do it.
I appreciate you coming on here, and that's going to do it here for our post-game interview. It felt great not to get pelted by volleyballs for this post-game interview here at the volleyball game. I'm Daniel Leakin saying so long after Sterling takes a 2-0 win over the Hammonton Blue Devils. Thank you to everyone who helped behind the scenes, everyone at home who watched, and as always,